The best thing that happened to me was running out of money. You see, every time imposter syndrome whispered, "Oh, you're ambitious." To me, it felt like growth. And here's the thing. I really want to talk about this in today's video because I'm one that feels like I have to invest in some program, in something to help me get to that next level, right? And it is one that I felt like, okay, when I was like, qualified interpreter, right, doing my thing, and then realized, okay, I can help other people get to where they want to get to. So let's do the courses. So I went and did a law of attraction course through the QSCA, certified with that. Now a law of attraction practitioner. Did NLP. Then I went on to do like neuroencoding specialist, like the program. But in between, there were always this mini course here. I even did like a made to do this. It's like an accountability coaching session training kind of like thing. I even did like a life and business quantum your life coaching certification. And on and on and on, I would just be grabbing every certification out there, thinking, okay, this is the one that would help me get to that next level. Okay, now, oh yeah, I feel like I need to understand how this. I even did like a social media like training thing, or even did like I joined this other program. What's it called now? It was really to help you position yourself as an expert. And here's the thing, each and every one of this program, they did their thing, right? They I guess they were great in their own right. I can't think of okay, which was the one that would say, okay, that was a waste of money or in any sense. But this is the thing, inside each one of those courses, my belief wasn't there. So I initially thought, okay, I saw the stuff and think, okay, this will be the next thing that would help me get to that next level or help me do this or do whatever that is, right? But me, the belief I had in myself going through the course wasn't always as the one that that is capable, or it's like knowing, okay, this course is going to help me get there, but not believing that you're the kind of person that will get there. I don't know if that's like kind of like making sense. And that's kind of like I felt in some of this thing. So and in some of this program, it's like, okay, I need this. This will help me. And then it's this crazy amount of money that I have to then be doing some extra work or extra bookings so that I can pay for that. So the time that I should have been used for implementation or used to really expand myself, I'm using it to get the extra shift to pay for the program. And then it's like, okay, I'll start doing the thing and I'll get to a point where it's like, oh, okay, there is something there holding me back, thinking, oh, I'm not sure if I can, or oh, people like me, like then you start seeing the patterns of it's not the program, it's how I saw myself, or I didn't realize this at the time that okay, I'm not sure if I'm capable. I'm not sure if I'm that kind of person who can just go and do that, or not. Like maybe I just need to prepare some more and prepare some more, prepare some more. And then the program is going on. Today it's like it's finished. And then I don't finish properly. Or I go ahead and go ahead. Let me just get into all the training, but the implementation, the action taking side of things just slows down. And this is me going there, doing this over and over and over and over again. And this one will finish. Oh, okay, there's this next one. Let's do this. Okay, we'll go again. All right, maybe this will be the one. Okay, maybe this is it now. Let me see. Like, and I kept doing this thing. And the amount felt, it's like, okay, I can be proximity, right? Be in spaces where, like, the big boys are playing and the big girls are playing, right? They've got their shit done. They know their stuff. You're in that space. And being there, you get that perspective shift. You get that like, oh my, wow. this is possible. People are actually doing this. At the same token, even though I was growing, my what I wanted and what I felt about self were not in alignment. I didn't truly, even though you know how you say, oh, I want to make it, I want to make it, and your mind is saying, really, are you sure you can? Like, really, are you that kind of person? But oh no, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Nene, are you sure you can do this? Can you see how that's not aligned? Because my identity in going through that program is not the same as the what that program is saying is going to make happen for me. Because I'm thinking, just sign up, get it, and then once it's over, I'll get what they're claiming would be the case. And in most cases, what I found in self is it is not that the program didn't work. It is that I personally, the way I saw myself, consciously, I knew that I can do it. Oh, I'm capable. But unconsciously, I didn't, that imposter was there. That self-doubt was there. That, oh, I'm not sure was there. That self-loathing, like, oh, no. Even though everything is laid out there, everything is like structured, you can see people flying, and then like when it comes to you, I hesitate. I'm like, let me prepare some more. Let me do this, let me do that. That was the disconnect. That was what was happening. So what was then happening is I was collecting program after program to the point where I overextended myself financially. We're talking not just like hundreds, we're talking about thousands of pounds I was paying for a program. I'll pay for 3 months here, I'll pay for a year program, I'll pay for like somewhere like 25 grand. Another one's like 15 grand. There's like serious money. And this is where I was thinking, okay, if I do this and do this and do this, I'm just overextending myself to the point where I overextended myself financially that I just could not. I was now struggling to even pay for some of those programs. And I then got to the point where I had no choice but to like just like rein in the brakes. Like, okay, we can't do this anymore. It's like, where are you? You can't. There's only so much hours in a day you can work to pay for those programs. Because you paying for those programs and doing a thing, you don't even have that self-belief in self to start creating the thing that would then get you to the point where you can then pay for those programs. The belief in self, the walk in self is not there. Because I need to go do the work, and then I'm not like, oh, maybe, and then it becomes, oh, maybe it's the wrong people I'm speaking to, or maybe I need to like deal, like it's not this kind of demographics, or maybe it's the transformation I'm not getting. Can you see how the excuses started showing up for me, and we just start making up things when it's just because we have not, or I personally did not, my identity did not get up to the point where that matches the program I was taking at the time. Like if you see me, it's like, yeah, this is the one that would break the camel's back, that would the breakthrough for me, that would make this time easier, and I'll get what it is. I'll start creating and making the thing. But I wasn't truly working on this. I wasn't working on my identity of self as someone who can create those things, as someone who believes that even though some of those programs had the mindset side of things in there, they had all those different elements in there. But I wasn't, something was holding me back. And when that overextension happened, and I realized like, okay, I can't, like, there is no way I could pay for another thing right now or overextend my, like, it was just like a ground hole of like having to have discussion with people like, okay, we need to like rediscuss how we're going to like finish up this payment because it's not happening. Or sometimes I go into a program not realizing how much commitment is there. You think it's like the 1 or 2 hours. It's like, no, there is extra work, or there's like 4 or 5 hours during the week, and then you have this program here and that program here and that one. There was just no way. of having to do that. So when it got to that point where, okay, I could not pay for anymore, I could not do anything else, and I had to move. There is something great about silence, about really taking the time to reflect. When all those, you're not in session all the time, you're not doing a thing, right? Like, and you just pause and you start thinking, like, okay, some of this program I've got for life, somewhere like, okay, you have access to a year, you have access to this, da, da, da. I had to go back and really like go back to the programs that I've gotten with a different mindset. And okay, let me take my time. Now it started becoming clearer. I was now understanding what I was meant to do. I was really taken from a different place. And you know what made the difference? When I decided, because I had this issue about visibility, because I thought, okay, I was always being seen, but I wasn't chosen. Or even if I was chosen, people are going to know. And then I didn't want my colleagues to know I was doing this. I didn't want like the clients that I was doing in my other thing to like know I'm visible while I'm trying to build this thing. So there's just so many things. But when I started working on myself, the identity of self and how I showed up and realizing, okay, I can't be in spaces, even though I thrive in the accountability and in the group. We need to go check out those old materials we've got. And you know what? Suddenly they're beginning to start making sense. It was now clearer because now the notion of the visibility and getting to the point of like, you know what? I'm okay with not everyone being okay. Or if someone sees myself, like, I just kept saying to myself, like, they're not paying my bills. Like, if they know how much I've invested in this thing, like, I don't give a tissue anymore. I'm just gonna start doing me and realizing, look, I'm not for everyone. No one's not gonna like what you do, or even what I'm doing. Somebody else does it. It's just maybe they would like the other person's version of how they show up, or they might like how I present it or how I share my story. Whatever that is, when I started working on self and working about how and doing the work that required me to love on self, to start understanding that of my capability, understanding that look, I've done the training, like it's just what's going on in there. And then going back to those old materials and seeing how it's making sense and seeing how I'm not using, not because I'm even studying more, it's because now I am consciously learning from the material than feeling like I need this to be that. Like, no, taking that time and now finally doing it in motion, like testing as I'm doing it, than feeling like, oh, I just need to learn and learn and learn. And then, okay, maybe at the end of it, no, in motion. I tell you, when I decided to start showing up every single day on YouTube, and we're doing this to the end of this year, because of that showing and doing this thing, I started off very robotic. I started like a reporter. I started like, oh my, da 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 da. And it was just, I felt I have to be this expert. I have to like not be me, right? And over time, as I was doing that, I just realized, you know what? Let's take this script off. Let's just stop being this newscaster and just riff. Get a topic. Let's just riff it off. Just start riffing and riffing. And from the riffing, I went to, okay, we need some more structure. And somehow, I don't know how I landed back into scripting again. And where we're now is I have like, I'm very intentional about the hook I use to get in. And then like, what's those, like the different points, what's the story teach tool am I using? And then I just have like phrases just to remind me of how it's going to be. And I just like let it flow. Whatever comes in, whatever story, whatever example, that's where I am now. So I'm not like heavy on the scripting, but going through those programs and then doing the work, clarity came through the motion, came through action. It came through the space because juggling a family, work, business, trying to create this, having like, it was just so much juggling, being in a group and then having clients and then realizing, oh my goodness, the training wants you to do a certain way that doesn't align to how you want to show up, but this is the way that you would make money from. And it's like how, and it became like, I've invested so much, I just want to do something so I can start making some money. That energy, oh my goodness, so heavy that when you're going through that thing and realizing that, okay, you don't have to do it this way. Be you, and then it flows. Because here's the thing, readiness doesn't come before the action, right? It doesn't. It comes because of the action. As you are doing the thing you said you're going to do, it comes. But what I was finding is, because I didn't have that self-belief of self or whatever that is, I kept thinking this next program, this next person, this, that would help me do this. But when I was forced to just pause and realize, like, you have to work on self. You have to start working on how you see yourself. Because when that happened, and it's like, okay, there was no other choice. I had to decide, like, you know what? I am going to start learning and making my next 10K from what I already know. And if I ever have to get into another program, I have to ask myself certain questions. It's not a case of, oh, this is going to be this. I have to be very intentional now in any other programs I get into now. It's not just here, invest now. No. Before I purchase anything, before I go into any program now, is, do I have the time to implement this thing they're about to teach me? Because you go into some programs and they'll be like, yeah, it's two, like, how many calls are you going on? How many hours do you need to implement what you're learning? What is the likelihood? Do you need any more investment to help you with that program? Like, am I buying this thing because of fear, or am I doing it strategically? Am I buying it because I have a strategy to do? Because before it was fear. Fear was driving me buying this program. Even how you have those, like, oh, $27 here, $49 here, this here, that here. I was just collecting. Like, even right up to a couple of weeks, there was this creator that's like, oh, I have this thing about a program they had. It's only $8. And I kid you not, I almost clicked on a thing. I had to remember. Then, what are you doing? Yeah, it's $8. Yeah, it's whatever. But why? Why? What is she selling that you don't already have in the programs you have? Take notes. Go and check your thing out. Why do you feel this is it? Like, we always, myself included, overestimate what we can do in a year and underestimate what we can do in years. We think, like, you know what, the next year I'm gonna be this, da, da, da. And we forget, like, what about the next 3 years? In the next 5 years, what could happen? We think it has to be like, da, da, da. And I'm there thinking, this lady is trying to sell me something. It's like it's $8, and you'll be able to. I'm like, it was FOMO. It was like, oh my, she's saying this, and like, yeah, and you have a plan. Why do you need another $8 of various courses, digital, whatever, that you might just pay and never open, but because of, like, oh yeah, this is. So yeah, am I buying out of fear, or is it strategy? Is this filling a gap? And am I going to implement it? Those are the questions I ask myself now. Because if not, I'll just be shelling that money, because I was like going and just pouring it out. So with these questions now, you know, pat myself in the back that I've done well. I haven't really gotten as, like, paid into any more programs, or even though I have a list of yes for later, like this would be good to do, not now. Because you really, putting in, thinking about capacity. Can you have the time to put in the work? Do you have the room, the space? So I have my yes for later things that I want to do and I want to participate in. And the other key thing for me is if I can, most cases, I don't want to do repayment. I want to just pay in full. So sometimes I see programs are like, interesting. I mean, I'll be like, yeah. Do I have capacity? Yeah, I might do. Or would I? No, let's sleep over it. Let's wait till we have it in lump sum and then we can chuck, so that it's not a case of I am repeating the cycle of doing the extra work or trying to get the extra client just to pay. Like, it could be a motivator, yes, but I'm not signing up to that anymore, because I feel like all I need is within me now and within my reach. With all the resources and the knowledge and the things that I have. Once I can, you see about this business I'm noticing is the sales and marketing. I have to start building the reps about having conversation, because once you connect, you collect. Once you start speaking to people and really genuinely seeing, like, look, I'll be doing you a disservice if I don't help you out here and tell you what it is. And not doing it in a salesy way of like sliding to people's DMs when they did not ask for yourself. If they come into my picture, we have conversations and we'll make it happen. Right? It's not a case of me now like looking like a what's that phrase they keep saying, like a puppy dog. There's a phrase like, people can just tell like you just won that sale. Like, no, we're just connecting. We are like aligning to then. So hence why I like to just pay in full. So that it's not a case of, oh, let me go and look for, or let me do this extra thing, or let me do that to pay for that. I've gone past that season now. We're not doing that anymore. It's not me now. And I see things and I'm like, wow, Nene, you didn't sign up for that. Well, kudos to you. Because of the amount of stuff that I have is plenty. I get to now start containing it now to my folks and then be in this accountability group here or this, not thinking I have to have this program. Anyway, that is how I am navigating this period right now. And I'm so grateful that that happened and that I didn't need another course. And I just needed myself back. I needed to tap back into me to understand that the greatness in me and understanding that, look, do your thing. You are capable. You need to work on self to start learning and doing, taking that motion to get the clarity. Because that's how momentum happens. That's how the clarity comes in. So have you ever gotten back to an old thing now, and now as you're going through that old material is landing for you, you're seeing it? So let me know in the comment section if that's your if that's your truth, and subscribe if you haven't done so, because we do this every single day. I am Nene. Remember that your voice matters and it is your time to use it. Bye for now.